Dear friends, good morning. I, Jaswant Singh Kelasia, welcomes you in our YouTube channel Parad Germinates the Democracy. We having an Hindi YouTube channel also. Its name is Parad Loktantra Ka Ankuran. We are also available in different social media platforms. By observing the descriptions, you can see them. For what purposes and for what objectives we have launched this YouTube channel, you can also see by observing the descriptions of this channel. Today we are presenting about the Indian judicial system. For this we have prepared a write-up, and the whole write-up is divided into 5 episodes. The title of this write-up is that social, cultural, theosophical, religious, economical system of India versus judicial system of India. I am repeating this title of the write-up: social, cultural, theosophical, religious, economical system of India versus judicial system of India. Presently, we are presenting you the first part of this write-up. We are requesting that because our write-up is totally technical in nature, hence we are presenting by reading this write-up. I start like this. For establishing and running any democracy, 4 institutions are essential in the form of 4 pillars: 1. Legislature, 2. Executive, 3rd. Judiciary, and 4th. Media. It is very essential for these 4 pillars that there must be a coordination amongst them. We have been expressed our views about legislature, executive, and media directly or indirectly, but for 4th pillars, which is first rank in our priority and most important pillar, is judicial system. If we do not express our views, experiences about judicial system of India, then our scheme shall be appeared as incomplete. The ruling class of India, amongst all of 4 pillars, in the matter of priority and importance, hails and propagandized to judicial system as supreme and the most important. But because of all undemocratic means, its preoccupied judicial system of India. In India, since a few years, a debate is going on that which is supreme, the legislature or judiciary. Judiciary also, for establishing, proving its supremacy, use judicial activism, and by giving the regions grounds, references of fundamental elements of the Constitution, by interpreting them, whatever the acts passed by the legislature declared them as unconstitutional and made them null and void. After this, the legislature further passed a new act as a damage control. In this way, there is continuous tug of war remains in between legislature and judiciary. But when we study jurisprudence, legal theories, political science, social science, and also we study the history and evolution, manifestation, development, and then establishment of judiciary and judicial system under a democratic system, then we find that inequity and the priority of judiciary is always and almost on top as compared to others. Under a democratic system, then we find that antiquity and priority of judiciary is always and almost on top as compared to others. In other words, we can say that the legislature come into existence from the jurisprudence and legal theories. Therefore, so long as legislature moves on by adopting jurisprudential principles and legal principles, the democracy shall not be remain established. Some intellectuals also stated that sometimes judiciary serves as a watchdog on activities of legislature. In context to intellectualism, we can say that institutions, judiciaries is being sustained by intellectual persons. Those are expert, experience holders, reputed and intellectually matured one only. Though contrary to this, what type of and what standards of persons are in abundance in the legislature, state and center, we all know very well. Hence, if not principally, at least on the basis of situations as we are observing all over India, we can say that amongst all four pillars, democracy, judiciary is on topmost importance pillar. But it is yet a fact that in Indian judicial system and in the persons associated to this included advocates, government advocates, registrars, clerical staffs, governments, prosecutors, etc., do not exhibit an ideal condition, if not an good condition. We find so many deficiencies, defects and mismanagement in Indian judicial system. To describe here about these deficiencies, defects and mismanagement shall not be relevant, but it can be sufficient to say widely that Indian judicial system suffers from mentality of ruling class, though it must be with a mentality of judicial mindedness, with rational, logistic thinking and scientific temperament. As that we mentioned above, there is a continuous tug of war between judiciary and legislature. In the matter of supremacy, there is also some sort of struggle of dominancy. Judiciary used to impose charges that legislature is not increasing numbers of judicial officers, justices and court buildings as per the requirement and international standard, and also not providing sufficient budget resources. So also the legislature is no modernization of judicial process by well arranging modern technology. Due to lapse deficiencies, numbers of cases are increasing very fastly and resulting into very delayed disposal of cases. India is very much ill named in the matter of disposal of cases, very delayed. Some legal experts mount some very serious allegations on both legislature and judiciary, as both these institutions are not sensitive to common men. They are not obeying their constitutional, administrative, public welfare duties, responsibilities. Due to these lapses, disputes arise and then they converted into legal cases, litigations. Hence, due to these reasons, legal cases, litigations increases very high in number. Recently, a senior justice in the controversy of collegium systems, rules of appointment of justices, committed that when legislature, hence due to these reasons, legal cases, litigations increases with very high numbers. Recently, a senior justice in the controversy of collegium system, means rules of appointments of justices, commented that when legislature, executive, themselves as an opposite party respondent in approximately 80% matters of common men, then they cannot appoint the justices unbiasedly. In other side, the legislature and other institutions, organizations imposes allegations on the judiciary, and first, it does not dispose the cases as fastly as it can do. Second, it gives more emphasis on procedure law due to this pendency increases. Third, in the matter of number of working days, it alleges that as per the international standard, Indian judiciary enjoys a very high number of holidays. It causes further pendency. Fourth one, it is also alleged that the judicial officers are more attentive towards more and more disposal of cases for the good ACR in place of deliver the justice. Due to such type of working, number of appeals, reappeals, revisions, petitions increases. Apart from above major reasons, grounds, so many other reasons are there. Due to them, in one side, legal cases are increased, and in other side, they remain pending for so many years. Along with these reasons, some other reasons are also there, as absence of desired alertness and devotion towards a case on hearing argument date, lack of preparedness, hence for pray for adjournment of the process, etc., are the reasons that advocates counsel level causes delay pendency of the cases. So also for so many petty and mean reasons, grounds, presiding judges easily adjourn the proceedings, resulted into further delay and pendency of the litigations. In all these matters, issues, our study reveals that overall in Indian judicial system, some sort of culture and the mentality has been developed which causes and help in keeping the causes pendency for long time. Dear friends, with this we conclude the first part of this write-up. If you think that we are giving some basic informations and you think that we are radically different as compared to the other channels, please subscribe, share and like our channels. Thanks for being with us and viewing the full videos. Namaskar.